And Happy New Year. It is a new year, the very first video of the year 2022. Bass and Bonsai. We're talking rod and reel combos, whether they be from straight from the high road to China, AliExpress, or Japanese JDM Digitaka, Japan Lure Shop, all the other places, bunch of places. Rod and reel combos that going forward into 2022 I'll be using. I'll talk real quick about the surprises and the letdowns and that kind of stuff on rod and reels, but the combos I'm throwing together is kind of what this one is emphasizing. But we'll talk about a little bit about rods by themselves and reels, but the combos that I put together. So first off, since they're out here right in front of us, let's just talk about the biggest letdowns of the year, right? What to look forward to in the new year. This is a Black Knight 2, for those of you that don't know. You've been living under a rock, something like that, or you're just new to BFS. The Black Knight 2, a lot of issues. I still like it. I have, as you can tell, I got two. This is basically the same thing, Dark Wolf Ultra. Stay tuned for the break fix or whatever. Also, I got a video I'm editing right now. It's in the process of uploading and whole process there, but it'll be coming out showing me casting this, no issues. Right after I got this one new, I think I'd put magnets in, then I took them back out, and I went out with Charles fishing. So be looking forward to that. And I was throwing it on the Golden Mud cart. But anyway, so far out of what I'm looking forward to fishing this year, there's basically I guess some of the old are out, like the PW100s. I don't even know, where did I put my PW100? Oh well, it's floating around here. Now I still have this version basically. See that? And that is the Pro Spool. Very good reel still, but they may possibly be on their way out. No offense to Shimano. I know, I joke and I jack around and I call them shitmanos and all that kind of stuff. But if we know, if you watch the channel, still best BFS reel, possibly reel ever made right there. Nothing's topped it yet on the BFS front, in my mind, my opinion. But I've kind of found a flaw and a weakness in the, I guess, centrifugal braking system Aldebaran's. Maybe Shimano's in general, maybe reels in general that have centrifugal brakes. That's why more and more I think are going magnetic. But anyway, we can talk more about that later. But possibility, I've got them in the lineup, and I do still like them. They're small, compact, very capable reels, but I don't know. After the shootout with this versus the Zillion, and then just trying to get this thing to cast lighter baits, the 50, got some issues. So let's talk about the good. What I found out, this guy, blast from the past, got it, cleaned it up. I'll show you real quick. Not loud, but I added a drag clicker. And I may have to work on it a little more, but you guys hear it? It's a clicker. I think I made the little teeth too small because I didn't want like a crazy, which I like the one. I guess it works. It's a more subtle one, but I also made this one way different. I don't know. I may have to take I didn't have this one apart. I may have to take this apart and stare it down and change what part I missed. Or it could be just the fact this is in aluminum. It's completely encased in aluminum and not plastic, is why it sounds totally different, like way off. But I'm sure there's something I could change. But the alphas in general, I'm going to use it, but I don't know if I definitely won't be getting any more, and I don't know how much I'll be using it. Because I guess I would say, truthfully, the biggest find for me this year that I wasn't even looking for was this Zillion. By all the tests I've seen done, by just the views, and I hadn't really heard anybody talking about just how great it was, other than, you know, the Daiwa actual, you know, little footage that they were putting out, you know, of how well this new boost system worked. But just not even the boost system, how they've gotten it smaller and it palms it. I don't know if it's just because of that. I haven't really put it up side by side on like the an actual Tatula that I used to have, because all the Tatulas, all the other zillions I've held, I never bought a zillion once they had the T-wings, you know, because they were basically putting out same size reels as what the Tatulas were, just more money, you know, a little fancier stuff. Well, I had the chance when I was up at Rogers. I got this one in hand. I'm like, oh, they may have finally hit something there. Well, then I cast this SV Boost spool, and I was like, whoa, they may really have something now. So, initial thoughts, tests, all that. This thing is awesome. So I'm definitely happy about that. I got it for like 280 bucks off Digitaka. So as much of a letdown as this is sort of being, but I'm still using it. It's still a good reel, small, compact. Does cast lightweight baits very well. It has some issues. Be looking forward to that. Anyway, I found that I liked the Lingle, this reel. This reel is, I feel, legit the one that knocked off the PW100 is my reel of recommendation for just the best all-around BFS reel on AliExpress. $79. I don't think I paid $79 for any of mine. I want to say that I paid $77 for one, and I got like $28 back because, and it's this one, the spool was 0.5 grams heavier than it should be. Didn't have quite as much grease as I would have liked, but no real issues. I cast 2-pound regular line, and you could feel it kind of starting to catch, but I never had to take the spool out trying to cast a trout magnet. And it can cast it, but not a great. Like, you could fish with one, but no, nobody wants to fish with the trout magnet. I also got that footage coming out too. So I did buy another Lingle. Awesome reels. You can't go wrong in my mind for that much money. They come with the drag clicker, almost all the bearings, except there's no way to put a bearing here, and that's the only place that there's like a pre-made bushing, and it's, as you can see, it's a very smooth. It just works. Cast real good. And we've also got variants of it that are out on the market. Just unboxed this one yesterday. I have a couple more variants still coming. Still have the same build and feel and look, that even though same, you know, plant factory that's making them for whoever makes it for this one, are making these for a different company, and they're calling this one the MK9, but same basic reel, few differences. That's definitely breaking and spools are different, but other than that, cosmetics, same basic reel. Awesome reels. I definitely recommend them. Then what I also found is this guy. I actually like, and I didn't think I would, just the overall, I guess, the ergonomics on how it palms, how much rounded feeling. And I wondered that when I saw the pictures. I'm like, well, is it better there? Because I've talked about it before. The 13 fishing concept reels I don't really like, because see how squared off that is? It's hard to tell. You have to see it in person, but just a little bit of smoother. I know I'm picky how this is sharp. It's just when if you've only held this one, you'll think, wow, this palms real good, better than all my other reels. But the minute you grab this one, you're like, oh, that feels better. It's the same reel, basically. This one just has a better overall feel, and I definitely like this, the way it palms, and I like the looks of this better. Once you add a few things, it's just better. I didn't think I would like this reel better than this reel, but as of right now, I think I'm leaning towards this reel. They're still both have some issues and things. I still like the Lingle overall better than those coming from AliExpress. So this reel, definitely still, I put the different spool, and I don't know, kind of for the bling factor, and I feel it lets me cast into the wind slightly better than the stock spool. I couldn't really tell a big performance issue over the stock. Way lighter, but it just doesn't seem to make a huge difference on casting. And definitely the stuff I cast, no difference other than, like I said, into the wind. I feel I have less fluff ups, you know, chance of backlashing with that spool in. So I'm going to leave the spool. I like that spool. If you guys don't know about it, the Chameleon spool off of AliExpress also. And I do recommend the LT Fishing Store. Somebody had asked me a while back if, you know, AliExpress is legit. Well, it's as legit as eBay or any place, Shopee, Rakuten, or whatever. Amazon, no, I guess not Amazon. But anyway, AliExpress is just a place to where you can go. It's a site where you can pull stuff, from Chinese sellers. But each individual store you go to, they might be funky. They might not be good, because I've bought in a couple stuff. Now, I've never had an issue, though. AliExpress, I file a complaint dispute, I get my money back. The issue will be, you'll pick out something from a store, you click buy, and then 2-3 days later, you've already paid for it, and they haven't shipped it, and you got them like message them, why haven't you shipped it? Oh, well, they just come up with whatever reasoning. One was a rod. Oh, that my whatever, they couldn't act like they couldn't ship the rod. Well, as anybody knows, you can definitely, as you see some of these rods I'm going to show you, you can get rods from AliExpress from China. Problem was, they were listing it for like $70 or whatever price with free shipping. Well, they found out that shipping a rod, even if it's 2-piece, is going to be like 20 or whatever. So then they just basically backed out on the sale. So then you got to file a dispute, and it's a little extra hassle. And there's a couple stores, I'm not going to name names, definitely not the Time and LT Fishing Store. I've never had an issue with those guys, and several others, but I can't remember the names right off the top of my head. So anyway, we're going to jump right into the rods, and I'm going to show you the first two just because you won't see them in my lineup, my arsenal, and I'm going to show you which reels I'm putting on these rods. But the first two, I'm just going to show you that I still consider good rods, but they didn't make it to my arsenal for, oh my gosh, for a reason other than they weren't good. The Cast King Zephyr and the John Koo Vivid. Now the Vivid could have made my lineup, but I've decided and I'm not a huge fan of this Cast King reel. I don't know why, I can't make myself like it. Definitely has a heavier spool. Everything you're looking at here, except for this guy, will outperform this. All of these others, I would almost bet that this guy can cast a 2-gram bait further than this. It just has that old technology spool. It is probably right there with the original PW100s and most of your Spirit Foxes, the GH100, those kind of things. It's right there. Actually, this reel would probably be right with it. And then this reel. But this is a far better, in my mind, make and build a reel compared to this one. Probably have close to the same weight spools. I just couldn't make myself like the Zephyr overall, the reel. And it does go good paired with the Vivid, but this rod and reel combo I'm keeping, and it will be going to the lake for the boys to use, Javier and Noah. This combo, I love this rod. I didn't think I'd like this rod. I've talked about it, and I got a video coming out on it also. Me and Charles, I got a full day in on it a while back. But the Golden Mud Carp, and I've already had a video out talking about this rod. I like this rod. This rod just fits right in between a true ultralight and a light tip rod. Almost 6 foot. They kind of says it's supposed to be 6 foot. It's not. It's like a touch shorter, but it is a very good rod. This is a good reel, not for the real lightweight stuff, but Noah likes this combo, so he wants it. So he's getting this. That'll be down at the lake. Them boys will be fishing that stuff. That's why it may pop up here in the video here and there or whatever, or I may just take it back from them at any given time if they don't keep using it. So I'm going to start off with the rods that I guess I can't say I don't recommend, but they're out of my lineup, and a lot of them I will tell you I can't recommend. So where are those at? Let me go with those. Okay. Whoa, look out, cat. I'm going to skin a cat. All right. Well, I was trying to find them. All right, we'll start with, whoa. This rod I don't recommend. If you guys come across it, get at your own risk. It's called Fishing Blade. I don't think you can look it up by finding it like that, but you'll see that it's Fishing Blade. And I'm just going to show you why. It's got funky eyes. The eyes are way too, they never get small enough. It's got, the last 3 are huge honking eyes, and then it's actually got a very little tip. The eye of the tip is very small, and it just looks funky. It's kind of stout, but then I'll show you the next issue that I had with this little rod. And I'm going to try to bend it. I'll probably break it, but I'm going to try not to. Right here, when you start putting pressure, the solid tip starts flexing so crazy, like it would probably snap right there before any snake snaps. So basically, this is a little softer than this. The matchup's not real great. So it just kind of feels overall weird. But it was cheap, and if you want a rod for a kid, like if you want to just like I want to get him into BFS, because BFS is pretty easy to learn on. You could get a Black Knight too, And this thing, throw on like 10-pound braid or something. And, you know, don't start with real small stuff. Throw something definitely castable. And this would be for a kid or something to have fun. Or throw an old Zebco 33 or something on it. But it's definitely not in any kind of my decent fishing rod arsenal. And there's really the only ones. This rod was actually decent, but it only came in 6'6", and I felt was too a little too whippy for being a 6'6" rod. And it's just a Solnac. I want to say it was listed under Toma. And of course, all these I'm showing you, these cheaper ones are going to have their fake cork. They look pretty good, but fake cork. So that one is out of my arsenal. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I can't recommend that rod. It's not a bad rod. So let's go with all these others now are rods I'm keeping and will use, but they just didn't make they're not in the arsenal so far. And I've pulled this cork back off. If you guys remember, this is a rod I do recommend. Here's what I'm wanting to do with this rod. So I figured out that I glued it pretty good, but not totally good enough to where I managed to break free, because I'm going to try to, I don't know how to do it yet. I'm going to try to make this a bent, you know, one of those that has the grip coming down. I just haven't figured out how to do it yet, and I may not be able to do it. But if I can't, I'll just re-glue it back. You know, well, I got to redo it completely, but I'll reattach that. But this is definitely a rod I recommend. It's just still under construction. Let's talk about it real quick. And I just haven't found I may put the that reel on this rod, but as of the moment, it's kind of out of the lineup, but that's the delicacy. I do highly recommend this rod. I just haven't found an actual reel. I just haven't found an actual place for it yet in my arsenal. And I like and I will talk about that. The delicacy, the Toma, and you'll see the CU double coming up. I like them with the light tips. The ultralight tips, I don't have a place for those in my arsenal. I do like this rod. This is one of the last ones I got in. It's a touch on the whippy side, but it looks very good, feels good, and it's kind of the Toma. It's got the tips interchange with the Toma. And I can't remember. Moing, I don't know what that says. But anyway, this is a very good rod. It was only like $18. It's a pretty good rod. As at the moment, it's like the other Toma. It's just not a place in my lineup right now. Basically, I don't have a rod or a reason to have it in use right at the moment. And this one I've had for several years now, but it's kind of, whoa, look out. Yeah, don't worry, it can take a beating and keep on ticking. The King Teton 632. At the moment, I don't have a use for it. I've kind of, I don't know. I like the other 6.1 and 522 SUL. I like the reel seats way better, and awesome rod, 632 ultralight King Teton. It's out of the lineup for the moment. I'm not getting rid of it. It's just off to the side. Here, and just to show you that I'm not being picky on stuff. Here is NRX 802C. It's my other new. It's the brand new. I did take it out once and cast it. You can see it doesn't have any scratches or something. It still looks and feels new. It's a little dirty here and there, but it's also not in my lineup at the moment. $550 or $30 rod. It's out of the lineup. I don't really need it right now. So I'm going to give you two more just because they're basically the same thing. And I plan on putting this one in the lineup. 6.7 King Teton. Awesome for chatterbaits. And then this big heavier one. I changed out. Look where I was experimenting. I tried to make the reel seat just a little, and it feels better, but the looks I'm not sure of. That's the 6'10" heavy. Just haven't figured out a place yet. I don't know if I could break. That's one kind Conqueror that I might not be able to snap. But so far I've got 3 of the King Conquerors that still haven't broke. But it's a very good possibility, and I'll show you real quick. I've got another spot for this guy, but I've got another reel coming that looks very similar to him, so it's a possibility this guy could come on this be put on this rod. Even with that spool, but maybe if you guys haven't watched the unboxing video, go back and watch it on the MK9. Or it's got a deeper spool, which is similar to the SV spool. But it definitely looks, works, and would fit the bill for a good overall chatterbait rod. Then we'd be able to see with, I'll put like 15-pound test on it, tighten the drag up. We'll be able to check the durability on these Lingle-based reels. Plus, this one is an 8-to-1. So, still in the lineup. Now, let's go to, and I got a couple other rods. I'm not going to show you, go into big detail. This is a rod I made. You'll hear me talking about it from time to time. I didn't make it. I put the Mega Bass handle on an old Abu Garcia Gold Max rod, and man, this thing is just lucky. It's kind of like a mid-flex. Kind of reminds me of the 661 Teton. Very good rod. Kids have had luck. Everybody that uses this like catches fish with it. It's just one of those rods that works, but it's out of the lineup. This is a Pagani Mega Bass Pagani. Was an awesome rod. I snapped it. Doink, broke it off. I've took the cheapest tip you could buy, because you can buy the whole reel or rod. I'm sorry, the rod for $13, and just stuck the tip in it. It's out of the lineup though. I'm going to use that handle at some point to work on something. So let's go with, all right, let's go with the big stuff, and I'll show you that real quick and get it out of the way. Then we'll go to the mid-range. I kind of got three sizes here. I've got my just regular baits, which all tend to, which I like those rods to be real versatile. I can throw big, little, whatever of your normal range, you know, bass fishing baits. So of course you got to have your where's my other rod? I'm missing a rod somewhere. Oh no, I'm not. So we have the NRX 803. Awesome rod. At the moment, here's the combo that is just kind of has all that upper end stuff. And I know you're thinking that's an Aldebaran. It's more finesse. No, for what I'm using it for, and that's about as high end as I go, is what some people would still call finesse. But this is my, now that Conqueror you just saw 6'7", it's more of my like frog rod and that kind of stuff, or that 6'10" I could use it for. But this is my chatterbait, spinnerbait, almost any half-ounce baits. This is my combo 803C, whether it be, and then I can go down to, like, you'll see me when I get to that 1/8 ounce shaky heads, or 1/8 ounce, you know, roughly 1/8 ounce or 1/8 ounce weight up, but like 1/4 ounce baits, 1/8 ounce shaky heads, up to 3/4 ounce rattle traps, all that kind of stuff. This is my versatile combo that covers a wide spectrum, but more on that high end, and that's what I have it on. And this reel, that's the only thing. I don't really swap them around. I'll put that on that, and that'll be in my boat because that's my high end for when I want to throw that kind of stuff. So we have that one. This one's still in the works. Still don't have an actual rod for it, but I plan on squeezing this sucker into my lineup, and I've done some experimenting. I still need to redo that, but it actually feels better, just like I did on the other Conqueror. This is that 6 foot. I kind of been using it as a jerkbait rod, and it just feels all right. So it's going to be in the lineup. I still am not sure which reel. Possibility one of the Lingle variants. Possibility this guy right here. Here, let's show you that real quick. Because I'm still, if I keep these, and because nobody will offer you enough money as what they're actually worth. Because they're good reels still. They're very good reels. And I missed the freaking mark. But anyway, that is a very good, and all around, I mean, I'll use it for jerkbait, but it still can cover a lot of other places. So then we go with this guy that I just picked up. Now the plan is, I got a Lingle variant coming. I'm going to switch parts with the Lingle. The plan is the Lingle that is basically the Outcast, all the parts switched, is going to go on this. That's the plan. But I also really do like the way that this works, the Zillion works on this 13 fishing reel. And well, I can't even get it to fit now. But this is also, it's kind of, in my mind, overkill for, that's a lot of reel just for a, you know, upper end chatterbaits and that kind of stuff. But man, it does feel good. So it's a possibility that may be what you'll be seeing. You'll see that, or you're going to see this Lingle basically blacked out, and then everywhere you're looking at the gold will be silver. A Lingle on there with a deeper spool, kind of like this one. That's the plans for this, unless that reel doesn't just work out, doesn't fit right. So then let's jump to the kind of the mid-range, but kind of on the heavy side. I've kind of got a wide, I'm just going to bring them all out. So I've got one that doesn't quite fit on either end. I'm going to leave it out. I need to hurry up and wrap this video up. I got all these rods, okay? So this is my, where I consider power BFS, where the power, you know, they can cast down light, but they're also capable of handling some good stuff and throwing up to 1/2 ounce, 3/4 ounce baits, even a few of them. If you guys are familiar with the, I guess I'll hold the 3 of them up, and then 2 of them get lighter. So if you were to break this off into other branches, you could break it down into what I call your, well, 2 or 3. You got your 802C NRX rod, perfect power BFS, or just that, you know, right where you get to finesse baits. You're trying to throw lightweight baits, finessing some of that stuff, and a regular finesse, say, casting gear isn't quite up there, and you need a BFS reel. You can slap on this, and you can throw real light. You can throw 16th ounce crappie jiggles if you want to. It's a little overpowered for the hook set, but 802C, very good. The tool I've talked about that I pair with the Lingle is definitely another one of those. Like it's more powerful than NRX, I'd call it, down into the backbone, but the actual tip is a touch probably on the softer side. It's because they've kind of, what I call cheated. They took a hollow blank, added a little bit softer solid graphite tip to it to give it that little, where it can flick those little baits just a little bit further than if it, because normally I would call this a medium heavy to a heavy action the way it fills until that solid tip. So let me show you. And I was kind of, and still am a little bit in a toss-up, because I kind of want to put this reel on this, but if I did, I think I'd have to do it with that spool and get one of the actual true BFS spools, because I'll throw real lightweight baits on the 661. But this reel so far might be where this ends up. That new MK9 might be my perfect reel for this Teton 661. And then you would have a very versatile combo to throw a lot of different stuff, because that's a heavier, that's like a, basically would be the similar of a GH100 is what I call it. We weighed it, and it's like 9.4, so it's probably 8.3 grams spool, so very capable, but it's definitely, you can see how it's built way stouter than the Lingle spools. So that is probably where it's going to end up. I'm still at a toss-up between this one and this one, going on this rod or the, let me show you this one, or one of my last small Conquerors. The Conqueror is a little stiffer than a 661, so actually would be better for this spool, since it can't throw down quite as far as that other. It's just a heavier spool. Finesse, but not BFS true finesse. But this, and this kind of just looks more, I think it goes better too, but it definitely fits the bill more. Problem is it's a slower gear ratio, so I'd almost want it for when you're crank rods, and this definitely isn't a crank rod, it's more of a jig rod. So I'm kind of still up in the air on that. So let's, yeah, you guys want to see, I mean, you guys have already seen this, right? Have you guys seen this, the newer? That's the newest Lingle. And actually the newest Lingle will probably be going, that's the lighter spool with the Roro bearings are in this one I just picked up. Very good, but this reel will be going on something else. The old dog that's got the heavy spool, I put stock bearings back in it because that's all it needs with that heavier spool. And I'll be throwing, Now I can throw down, I'll be throwing 16th ounce shaky head jigs, of course with the worm, so it's still going to be about an 1/8 ounce, probably the smallest you'll see this thing get thrown. And some bigger stuff. But that is an awesome combo that you'll be seeing a lot more of. Took me forever to find a reel that actually likes this rod, but there's also a few others I found that go pretty good with that. Then the 802, I'm still up in the air. I still have not decided. I had this reel on it, but I'll be honest, this reel may be on its way out, or just purposed for a. That knob is in the works. I don't even have the handle all the way on. But all of this season I'd used this combo right here, and it's a very awesome working combo. I just don't know if I don't know if I'm 100% into this combo. So I might switch. And I mean, I could go all the way to like this guy, but I think it needs a more capable reel. So I don't know. I mean, it's a possibility I could actually get another one of these guys and just see let's see how durable they are, but I got a plan for this one. I get one of the Lingle variants may go on this, but I'm definitely getting this out and using it. The 802C and it's beat to heck. I might try to even send it back to Loomis. If we get that to focus. The coating on it, that's just from the normal. All these rods you've seen me holding up, they all go through the same thing. I just grab them all, take them, carry them, whatever. But for whatever reason, this NRX has totally just looks like dog crap, honestly. And what's funny is it's around the same age as the 803, and I'll try to show you. Here's a side by side. The 803 is on top, the 802 on bottom. That's roughly the same length. They're both the same length. But look. Can you just tell how much more chewed up this one is? That's not for me out fishing them. That's for me carrying them around, you know, transporting basically. I mean, it's got scratches. It's scratched up, and it's probably more than it probably should be. But that 802 is just crazy how scratched up it is. Okay, so then you go from that and you jump down. Oh wait, I didn't even talk about my best one. Was I saving the best for last? Still in that kind of mid-range, like your, you know, the wheelhouse of my BFS type stuff. This is the rod that I like better than any of them. I picked this thing up to feeling, man, that thing works. Not only just looks, actually I don't like this handle as well as I do some of them. I like the feeling of that handle, but just the overall basics of looks and feel and that material that this blank's made of, this is definitely. All right, so before we go to the very small stuff, I just want to talk about the CU Double. This is probably a surprise I didn't see coming. The CU Doubles, it's just a nice rod. It feels good, but I don't like mine with the ultralight tip like I've touched on with the Toma. Well, any rod so far that comes with the ultralight and a light tip, I like fishing them with the light. And I feel they're almost, for the little creeks and streams I'm going to be hitting and the way I'm going to be fishing it, they're almost overpowered anyway with an ultralight tip. The 6-foot ones especially. So I don't know. I like this, and this is the reel I like it on, or I like on it. They are just like a match made in, I hate to say it, I'll say it, match made in heaven. They go good together. They look good. The combo just feels good. It feels lightweight, and it's right at that verge of being balanced. Like it's not heavy at all. And if you barely move your finger up a little bit, it's balanced. So you could set and jig with little jigs. You know, you could. I like it for cranks. It's got enough flex for those small cranks, but you could still throw crappie jig. You know, you could do whatever you want to with it. I just like that combo. Yeah, I know it's a $38 rod or a $300 plus reel with that spool on a $38 rod, but man, it just goes good together. I'll be using that, but it's kind of like that higher, you know, kind of in between true ultralight and light, because that's not really a light rod with that light tip. It's not like what the Kind Tetanor Conqueror or my feeling rod are. So then we go to the last dogs. I'm just gonna lay them out here real quick so I can talk about them and what we're doing. Try to. Oh my God. These are the ones, and this is the one, that cheap $18 rod. Man, it's an awesome crankbait rod. It's just, probably not even for your creeks and streams. I mean, you could, but you could also, just to have fun, throwing little poppers, anything with treble hooks, but a small bait that you just want to have fun on. This is a little rod that is just fun, and it's cheap. So I'm not sure 100% where it's going. Will it go to the creeks and streams, or it might just be in the boat with when I start doing a little top water popper action, or little cranks like Dr. Frankenstein, or up to those 6 8 gram, probably 10 gram cranks, down to 1.5 gram cranks. That's just an awesome little rod that's definitely gonna stay in the stable. Here's the one I was waiting on. Man, I wanted this one, right? Match made in heaven. I already knew I wanted to get this, and don't get me wrong, it's still an awesome little combo that I will be using for the creeks and streams, but I'm not as impressed with it as I used to be. And it looks good with that drag star. It goes with this. That drag star is really way too light a color for the normal purple, but kind of blends it all together. I need a different knob for this combo. So this one will be staying, no wait, yeah, this one may stay on here. I've got the other one, one's going on the filling for sure, and I didn't put that on the filling. So we got the filling rod somewhere that I have planned with one of these, and then this rod. So, and I still like those combos, and I'm still keeping them together, and hopefully the magnet systems, and we can make myself re-like these, which I'm sure I will. They definitely don't palm as good as the Dark Wolf Ultra, but that brand new one's got all the bearings. We've already checked that out. Definitely goes good with this. The purples are pretty close, lightweight, very good combos. So even though I'm going to keep it, and I will be taking it to the creeks and streams, possibly it'll be kind of like that other one. This is one of those combos I may be going back and forth. I'll have it on the boat with me when I'm fishing bigger bodies of water, just to have fun with, throwing poppers or something. But here is my main rod. I've talked about it from the get-go. You guys see me when I got it. I traded Charles out of it. I like this rod. I just stuck this reel on it thinking, well, I could add some color to this reel that's had all of its life sucked out of it. And I just kind of happened to stick it on here, jacking around, kind of like I did with the, I don't know, half the combos I slapped together. I'm just like, wow. Once I get it on there, I'm like, oh boy, that just, it works. The palming and the way it feels, everything, it just feels good. And honestly, I just basically took a few pieces off the Zephyr and stuck on it with the black reel seats parts. It just goes together too. It's like a very awesome combo. This will be going to the little creeks and streams for sure, but it's also powerful enough rod. This will definitely be my main, like, topwater poppers and, just other stuff where you would want like your ultralight. I definitely like this combo. And if it just palms and works. I've already been out doing a little bit of casting. Now I'm gonna put the magnets in there, but it's definitely, I didn't plan on, when I was looking at this, I only got this because everybody else, it was like, well, it's got 6.1 grams over the which was supposed to be 9, but this is actually 6.4. So it ends up being like 0.2 grams, which you're not going to get any, and I can't tell any difference. They all perform about the same. I just like the overall palmability, just the feeling, those sharp edges. And I know I'm picky, but for me, they've killed me on how they just feel. And then this is the softest knob you will ever feel in your life. I can promise you that. That is just, I don't even remember which black foam knob I cut, but man, I got it perfect. I don't know if I can do it again, but I got it perfect. It just feels freaking good. This one looks better. I thought this style looked better, so I just added that little, it comes up. It's like cuts in and then comes up sharper. It feels good. This knob feels good. But then I felt that knob, I'm like, oh, that's better. That little rounded nub at the end. So if you guys are looking at like knobs that you like or think you might like, that little nub before that sharper, because you can kind of feel it. You feel that, see where just a little bit, then it cuts in. You'll feel that in a little while of fishing, that just feels better. So if you're trying to make your own. All right, so anyway, we got 2 left. This one I don't like. I cannot stand this thing. So I figure I'll take it with the reel. I hate the most. And we'll put them together, right? So it's actually a combo that is in my lineup that I will be out fishing at some point. Is that little funky dude right there, because I found out it is almost one of the whippiest rods I own. It's short now for casting like lightweight stuff. So it's in my arsenal. One last one and then I'll get out of here. So I got 2 rods that I really like, and I'm not going to mess with buying another Aldebaran BFS XG because they're expensive. And I plan on using this where I'm not using this. This will not be going to creeks and streams. This 522, I had it out. You saw me and Charles on a trip just not long ago. Actually, the same day I caught my personal best on the 661, I had this out. This thing is awesome, but I'm going to be leaving. I got all these other ones. I'm going to be leaving it behind when I'm going like in the boat and not, little creeks and streams. So, but when I am, I'm going to have this reel on it, and this will be one of my main ones. This is the lightest combo I own. You take this rod and reel, put them together, and maybe the lightest rod and reel combo you guys have ever seen. I should weigh it one day. But anyway, that's going to be that, and then as soon as I do go for the creeks and streams, I'm just going to switch this one out. And there's probably a couple of these reels that'll have that double duty thing, but for sure the Aldebaran BFS, because it's my favorite reel, period, will be hitting. When I'm going to creeks and streams, it'll be going on this rod. When I'm going just normal fishing, it'll be going on the CU double, because this is one of my favorite little small crank, mid-range baits. So anyway, all right, guys, I'm out of here. I got talked into going to the frickin' store. You guys, the storm, we're in the Midwest here. I might not make it back. If I don't come back, I'm going to leave the Lingles to nobody. I don't need to see that. All right, guys, I got to go. Thanks for watching. You got any questions? You want to know anything more about these or where to get them, comment below. I'm not putting all the links to all that stuff in the description. But if you really want something, you can't find it on AliExpress. Almost everything here is AliExpress other than Aldebarans and the Zillion, and those on Digitaka or somewhere on the Japanese sites. But you'd be surprised. You can actually find, I think they sell these Zillions. I've got my Corrado BFS coming, and it came from AliExpress. And a lot of stuff is still on AliExpress, even though it's JDM stuff. But that's lastly I'm going to say as I get out of here. Let me know what you think about these combos. Which one would you rather have on what, or that kind of thing.
I'll just go.
Hang on, I'm not done. Are you? Yes, I want to stop streaming. You got to wait until this thing